My question is for the Minister of Finance. Last week, people concerned about seniors' poverty were encouraged when the minister indicated an openness to creating a provincial seniors' income benefit. I would keep an open mind, he told reporters. When it makes sense to do so, we would certainly consider doing it. But people were deflated yesterday when, in answer to a question here, the minister walked back that openness and reverted, as the Premier did earlier, to talking about the Seniors Care Grant, practically the only senior supplement in Canada that requires an application and receipts. Is the minister really going to close the door on a seniors' income benefit in the province with the worst seniors' income in the country?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Madam Speaker, this is the challenge. I think it's great for opposition to bring ideas forward, but when they're brought forward in question period and in short snippets and before in response to media questions on those matters, it can create a lot of confusion for the public. And what I would say, Madam Speaker, is when government makes a decision on these kinds of things, we don't do it in an answer and question period. We don't do it in a media scrum. As we have said, and as I have said, we are always open to ideas, Madam Speaker, and will continue to be.
The Honourable Member for Halifax-Shepparton.
Speaking of creating confusion, Madam Speaker, yesterday the minister spoke about issues he saw about seniors' income benefit. He spoke about identifying how many people live in a certain house and finding out whether or not a person is actually in that house, and about CRA, all different kinds of issues. But doesn't the minister think that the governments and provinces of BC and Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba and Ontario and Quebec and New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador have figured all of these things out? And isn't it time for us in Nova Scotia to follow their lead and establish a seniors' income benefit for the low-income seniors of our province?
The Honourable Minister for Finance.
Madam Speaker, the member started out his question last week with a criticism of the Seniors Care Grant and saying that it was not as good as an idea that he had. And that's fine, Madam Speaker, but none of those provinces have the Seniors Care Grant. It was a new initiative started by this government. It helps seniors stay in their home. And we've heard a lot of positive feedback on that program, Madam Speaker. So we intend, let me be clear on that, for that program to continue.